Oshawa Information Echo. Weather at 1300 Zulu. Wind 020. At 7. Visibility 9 miles. 6,600 view. Ceiling 9,700 broken. Temperature 14. Dew point 8. Altimeter tree 000. Approach RNAV runway tree 0. Landing and departing runway tree 0. Inform ATC that you have information echo.
Okay, so this morning we are off on the first leg of the Give Hope Wings fundraiser Eastern Expedition. I've got a few days to get to PEI, to get to Charlottetown PEI. So today we're going to fly to Quebec City. I'm going to spend a couple of nights in Quebec City, and then from there I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got a couple of days. I might fly around the East Coast. We'll figure that out. But today's mission is just get to Quebec City. Beautiful blue sky here in Oshawa, but there is some minimal VFR, low cloud along our route that is forecast to be gone by the time we're there, but we may have to contend with clouds that are down around 2,500 feet. If that's the case, we'll just stop. No big rush. Anyway, let's get in the plane and let's get going.
Oshawa Tower, Mike Victor Uniform holding short 30 on Bravo, ready for takeoff.
Mike Victor Uniform, roger, stand by. Mike Victor Uniform, line up runway 30.
Line up 30, Mike Victor Uniform.
Mike Victor Uniform, right turn out, clear for takeoff, runway 30.
Right turn out, cleared 30, Mike Victor Uniform.
Oscar Yankee Juliet, wind 3507, gusting 15, quarter land, runway 30.
Doing it.
Evening Uniform, right turn out, work in the zone to the north, clear for takeoff, runway 30. Mike Victor Uniform, change en route frequency.
En route frequency, Mike Victor Uniform, thank you.
Whiskey Lima Uniform, change en route frequency.
Changing the frequency, Whiskey Lima Uniform, and clear out the zone. Toronto, this is Foxtrot, Mike Victor Uniform with request.
Mike Victor Uniform, Toronto Center, squawk guide in, what's your requested altitude?
5,500.
Mike Victor Uniform, you're identified, passing 3,300, not above 5,000 for now. Altimeter 3002.
Not above 5,000 for now. Thank you very much, Mike Victor Uniform.
Mike Victor Uniform, contact Toronto Center now with your requested altitude 134.25. Good day.
13425. Good day, Mike Victor Uniform. Toronto, this is Foxtrot, Mike Victor Uniform with request.
Mike Victor Uniform with
requesting 5,500 and VFR following to Quebec City.
Mike Victor Uniform, that's all approved. Report level 5,500 feet. Maintain VFR, altimeter 3002.
Maintain VFR, 5,500 approved. Mike Victor Uniform, thank you.
So our ETA to our final destination of Quebec City today is 3 hours and 45 minutes. Got a pretty strong wind coming at us, quartering headwind, sort of on a 45, slowing us down a little bit. I've got a true airspeed of 119, and our ground speed is 100. So 3 hours and 43 minutes to get there, 4 hours and 47 minutes of fuel, a little bit of a headwind. We've got some clouds up ahead. We'll see how that goes. We're on with Toronto Center for radar surveillance. Pretty boring flight from this point.
Mike Victor Uniform, Toronto.
Mike Victor Uniform.
Victor Uniform, you're going to leave my airspace shortly, so I'll terminate surveillance for Toronto at this time. If you want further flight following, you can check in with Montreal Center. The frequency is 13505. Could you check on with them, tell them what your transponder code is?
13505, thanks very much, Mike Victor Uniform. Montreal, this is Foxtrot, Mike Victor Uniform.
Mike Victor Uniform.
Mike Victor Uniform, Cessna 172, requesting flight following on a VFR flight plan to Quebec City, squawking 1201.
Mike Victor Uniform, squawk it at. Mike Victor Uniform, you're identified.
Mike Victor Uniform, thank you.
Up ahead, I can see the cloud just kind of hanging there. There's a section here where it was forecasted to have cloud. It was forecasted to clear by the time I got here, and I can just see it ahead of me, kind of breaking up. But off to the south, it's still quite heavy over Ottawa. Coming over the Ottawa River, there was some low cloud at about 4,000 feet, so I ducked underneath to get through it. And at that point, Ottawa kicked me off of radar surveillance, flight following. Once I cleared that, I got back up to 7,500 feet, and then it was a scramble to find the right frequency to talk to Montreal Center. Tried a couple of frequencies, finally found one that worked, kinda, and then they flipped me over to the correct one. So we're back on with radar surveillance, and we're now at 7,500 feet. Got through that low cloud, and it looks like it's clear sailing now all the way to Quebec City. We've got about 52 minutes left in this leg of the flight.
Alors, le rebonjour, Golf Uniforme Lima Mike, 1400 pieds au départ de Joliette.
Juliet Lima Mike, je crois.
Golf Uniforme Lima Mike.
Uniforme Lima Mike, Roger. Et c'est un vol VFR ou IFR?
C'est un plan vol IFR pour Mouskoka, c'est YQA, on est prêt à copier l'autorisation.
Aucun plan de vol dans mon système pour Golf Uniforme Lima Mike, donc je vais chercher ça, je te reviens. Mike Victor Uniform. Contact Quebec Terminal now, 124.0, 24.0.
124.0, Mike Victor Uniform, thank you. Montréal, vol 6-2, on a passé 3.3 en montée.
Pour une nouvelle pour la descente, c'est descendez à votre station. J'observe trafic au-dessus de vous, 3000 pieds, non confirmé, direction.
On vérifie pour le trafic, descente à discrétion pour Bravo Juliette Mike, merci.
1974, descend to 5,000.
1934.
Quebec Terminal, this is Foxtrot, Mike Victor Uniform.
Foxtrot, Mike Victor Uniform, Spec Terminal, good day. You are radar identified and Spec altimeter 29900, your intention.
Inbound for landing, full stop, Mike Victor Uniform.
Mike Victor Uniform, Roger, and descend 3,500 feet, Mike Victor Uniform. So intercept Highway 40, just remain on the south side of it. You can follow the St. Lawrence inbound, 3,500 feet.
3,500 feet south of the 40, Mike Victor Uniform. Quebec Tower, Foxtrot, Mike Victor Uniform.
Mike Victor Uniform, Quebec Tower, runway 29, wind 24010, gust 15, altimeter 29990. Attention.
Inbound for landing, Mike Victor Uniform.
Mike Victor Uniform, continue towards the twin bridges and then straight in approach runway 29, maintain 2,500.
Maintain 2,500, straight in from the twin bridges for runway 29, Mike Victor Uniform.
Écho, vent 2, 4, 0, 10, rafale 15, pour atterrir, piste 1.
Pas de Papa Echo.
Uniform, wind 270 at 12, clear to land runway 29.
Clear 29, Mike Victor Uniform. Tour de Québec, bonjour, Golf Foxtrot Papa Alpha avec vous 2 minutes pour un arrêt complet.
Québec, bonjour, Twitter Foxtrot, ici, Hôtel Alpha, avec Charlie. What's up pour Avjet? Roger, donc ça va être pas une église, c'est l'écart des deux pistes, ça va être discussion chez Avjet.
So there we are. We have made it to Jean Lesage International Airport in Quebec City, and there's Mike Victor uniform amongst all the jets. Gonna park here for a couple of days, head into town, see what's out and about, eat some good food. Quebec's great for food, and then plan out where we're gonna fly to on Friday. Okay, so Quebec City is one of my favorite cities in North America to visit and hang out. We're out in front of the chateau along the St. Lawrence River, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to use this footage because back there is a busker, and I'm not joking. They're singing Celine Dion songs. So I'll show you around Quebec City a little bit. So this square is where some of the earliest European settlement in Quebec happened, in Canada happened. Most of these buildings here, the stone, they're from the late 1600s, early 1700s. The original wooden buildings, long gone. This is outside the wall. This is not part of the walled city. This is part of the original inhabitation down by the St. Lawrence River. And I think if I come over here, you can just see the river down that alleyway. So I keep talking about this wall around Quebec City, and that's the wall behind me. So originally built by the French to keep the British out and control the Great Lakes, because this is the narrow point in the river. The British overtook it, and then they strengthened, fortified it, made it bigger in order to keep the Americans out. And then when the days of sailing ships and defending the St. Lawrence were no longer needed, they started cutting holes in it with gates so that people could get in and out easier, because the threat moved from actual military conflict to cultural. Inside the walled city, the old part of Quebec City, inside the walls, incredible architecture. Lots of old stone buildings from the 1600s, 1700s, early 1800s. A little bit of infill of newer stuff from the 20s and 30s, and all of these old winding narrow streets. It's an amazing place to visit. I'm here in the summertime, well, in May, so late spring. I would encourage you to come here in the wintertime. It's a great city in the wintertime. It's cold, snowy, sure, but there's so much outdoor activity. Let's go over to the Plains of Abraham. One of the reasons Julie and I come here so often is we got hooked by a concert series out on the Plains of Abraham that happens every July. I don't know if they're setting up yet. Let's go take a look. At the top of this hill behind me here is the Citadel, the fortifications, the actual military fort here in Quebec City. And it sits overlooking what is known as the Plains of Abraham, which is now a giant historical park. This is where the battle between the French and the English happened. This is where the English overtook France here in North America, or the northern part of North America, and France ceded all of their territory after a giant battle here. But on a more contemporary note, what's happening behind me is they are prepping the stages for FEC, Festival d'été du Québec. It is a giant 10-day music festival that happens here in Quebec every July. What they're going to erect there is the largest outdoor concert stage in existence. And every night over a 10-night period, between 100 and 115,000 people fill this kind of natural bowl here to see concerts. And there are, depending on the year, there are 4 or 5 other stages set about just outside the walls where different concerts happen, different genres of music. It's an amazing concert series. This year's ticket for 10 nights of music set over 5 stages with some really big acts, 129 Canadian dollars, I think it was. Even if you only came to see that one band that you love, you still got a deal, because you can't see a concert anywhere anymore for 130 Canadian dollars. Do the math for American, that's a pittance. So they're setting up, and Julie and I will be back here in July for the concert series. Amazing time. I would suggest you come. FEQ, Festival d'été du Québec, FEQ.
This is really uncomfortable. I don't know if the camera's picking up how much I'm bouncing around. The GoPro tends to smooth out everything to make it look like it's all nice and happy. I gotta tell you, it's horrible. It looks like on the topographical map that the highest terrain is now behind us, and the terrain slopes down to the ocean at this point. And as it slopes away, it should get a little smoother. It was horrible there for a little bit. It was really bad. It's still not great. You know, sometimes when you're doing something that you really love and you think, maybe I don't love it anymore. That's right now. That's right now.